or what would that term be? You know, come on, Rex, help me.
I don't know where you're going.
Oh, okay.
We know where you are. We know I'm here for me.
When you say something that's absolutely outrageous, and you're like, oh my God, that can't be true. What is that?
Absurd?
No, it's not absurd. All right, statement. All right, I'm going to make a statement. That's it. Here we are. In 1 minute, you can get an assessment that could be more powerful than an MRI, than a $500, maybe $1,000 health monitoring thing, and you know where they put up with the VO gas, and you know, if you're a trained athlete in that. Well, let me back up a little bit. As you know, there's a lot of Russian technology here. Is that true?
Really?
The Russian technology is elegant. The easiest way to put it is when the cosmonauts were popping up into space and the astronauts were popping up to space, they both were figuring out what would be the best way to write in weightlessness. And the Americans spent over, I forgot how many millions of dollars at that time, but it was way over 3 to 4, and created the first ballpoint pen, you know, injectable, right, great. And after a very conclusive way, it was really interesting what the Russians felt that it was a pencil. Pencil worked elegantly in space, right? They didn't spend a couple $1 million to do that, right? But it was simple, right? Now all they had to do was figure out how to sharpen it and what to do with the other. But it's an elegant solution. Right? Well, their whole history is elegant solutions. And there is a man that...
Out of necessity.
Out of necessity, all right? And now we're in a place in the Western world where, what is it, necessity is the mother of invention? Mm-hmm. That we're going to give you, right now, elegant, incredibly easy, powerful ways to do things in 1 minute that will not only strengthen your body, but actually let you know the equivalent of what your miles per gallon is. And that's kind of interesting, miles per gallon. Some of the newest cars all have miles per gallon readers, right? And if you know your car's getting 60 or 30 miles per gallon and now it's only getting 10, what's the problem, right? What would you do if you had a car that was normally getting 29.8 miles per gallon, now only getting 10? What would you do?
Have somebody look at it.
You would have someone look at it. You would know one that something's wrong, right? Okay. Now, the interesting thing is has anyone ever told you how many miles per gallon your body is designed to get? Have you ever heard that? Right? Well, what we're going to learn now is what that is. And now it's a little scary because once we mention how many miles per gallon you can get with your body, and if you're not getting it, and you're going to find out in 60 seconds, wow, that's an amazing. So I'm going to back up. There was a doctor who worked with asthma. And working with asthma is a really interesting situation because these guys, you know, they're overbreathing, you know, they're hyperventilating, you know, and they're doing that crazy, and you want to help them. And in the Russian system, there's not a lot of money for, again, you have a necessity. And what Dr. Buteyko found out is that you can measure the breath in a way and use a stopwatch, and you can get, now what I'm calling from an American point of view, or a North American point of view, miles per gallon. And what he found out is when you monitor that, just the fact of monitoring strengthens the system and then actually can reverse the disease, or in this case, reverse asthma, or reverse 238 diseases just by the monitoring of it and strengthening of the system through that monitoring. Have I piqued your interest just a little bit? Okay, all right, just. Now, anybody here has a second hand to their clock? You do, thanks. Can I use your watch? Right? I asked my geeks to get me something, and oh, we have a solution. What?
Do you want it? I put it on the street so everyone can see.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll get there. We got the solution, then we're set. Thank you. Okay, sorry. They do have the answer. I just didn't ask, hey, what's the answer? All right. And what it is how many people here when you were little, you're going, I'm going to hold my breath. You know? Now that's kind of a monitoring thing, right, Sue? But really the most powerful thing to monitor is after the exhale. So you breathe in, and then you breathe out. And when you breathe out, there's no more gas in your, quote, lungs, and you monitor how long you can retain, how long you can pause your breath. Now, if you're an athlete, a trained athlete in top condition, I don't want to say average, but they usually get 60 seconds that their bodies can stay in that pause. That's about the equivalent of 60 miles per gallon. So what I'm going to not challenge you, but to let you know that your bodies are designed to get 60 to 80 miles per gallon. And my little model is only getting about 8 or 9 miles per gallon. Well, if I'm only getting 8 or 9, and I know I'm designed for 60, I need to get an overhaul, or I need to change something, or I need to work with a coach, or I need to do something. But what we're going to do now is figure out that. Now, the other thing that's interesting is I've known about the control pause for 8 years now. Actually, since I've been in Boulder in 2001 or 2000. Now, do you think just because you know something that you apply it? Right? So that's what the problem is I know this incredible thing that I could do while I'm sitting at a stoplight. Well, I could have done it just walking in the door here. Could have done it in the car 9 times just watching for the light. All right, I can do it while I'm driving. I can do it anytime. And anytime I do it, I actually can feel better than if I don't do it. And yet, for the last 8 years, decided not to do it. Anybody here kind of do that? Right? But now we got a really cool thing in that we have a reminder system. Right? And what's really fun is even people who aren't so interested in the health benefits find the reminder system cool and fascinating. And in that, they've learned a lot about their own health. A lot. In fact, the questions that came up this weekend have been great. Well, what do you think about this? Look at how my monitoring has been. You know, I was really high here and a little bit low. What do you think's been going on? Automatically, the monitoring helped them get a lot more information about their health. And they're not typically health-conscious people. You know? So, but they thought, wow, this is kind of cool. Now, the other thing, too, is do you like to nag your mate to, you know, come on, honey, you got to do that. I know it's good for you. That doesn't kind of work so well all the time, does it? But a loving reminder, when the hand's around your back, saying, hey, I really care about you a lot. You know, could we do this together? Which reminder gets a little more going on that one? The latter. Right. Versus the one, hey, stupid, you didn't do it again today. You know, I got that in my family, you know, a lot. So, but what we're going to talk about is a reminder system that will support you. And the other really cool thing is everybody, even, to me it's so cool when I see great-grandma with a cell phone. You know, the grandkids said, Grandma, we really wanted to talk to you. We're going to give you a cell phone. You know, I mean, only in Boulder I've really seen it a lot. You know, I don't see older people other parts of the country, but I see it out here in Colorado. You know, these, you know, they're barely, you know, walking with their cane and they got their cell phone and they're calling their family. Well, what did you want me to get again? Now that cell phone is now a keypad that will actually be able to enter data in. And in the process of entering that data in, that data then gets saved to a chart or account. And then what's really cool is then that can be sent to the family member who really wants to know how that person's doing. That would be cool, right? To find out how dad's doing, how mom's doing, how the sister's doing, how my coachees are doing, how my clients are doing. And it's as simple, we can't say, well, I can't do that now, because now they're getting a little reminder system that they can actually plug in what that information is, or can actually do the reminding and the coaching right on the telephone. Now, what a really cool thing is I don't have to make the phone call. You don't have to. This loving reminder system is set up to make that call for you, to support them. But not in a way that's invasive, but in a way that supports them. Does that sound kind of cool? Okay, well, that's what we're going to talk about now. Now, remember I mentioned about control pause, right? What we're talking about here is when you strengthen this number, when you strengthen the body, little functions change. Like associated dysfunctional conditions like anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia, dizziness, memory loss, concentration problems, depression, and stress can be eliminated. That's pretty interesting. This is all from a little thing called your breath and how your breath can be retained or not. How about cardiovascular conditions? It literally, when we get that control pause up to a 45 or higher, we can eliminate angina, heart failure, palpitations, high and low blood pressure, migraines, and impotence. Right? This is just something that we're going to do on the telephone. There's no magical treatment here. Okay, but it is magical, the results. Sounds pretty good. Now it even gets better. Digestive systems change. Irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, flatulence, bloating of the stomach, belching, heartburn, ulcers, acidosis, and alkalosis is all related to how your body monitors a very important gas in it, and that's called carbon dioxide. See, when we monitor this ourselves, it's going to allow the body to monitor it correctly too. So when we change this, when we can actually increase this control pause number, all these things can go away. Little things like constipation, diarrhea, flatulence, bloating of the stomach can be changed. Nervous system, dizziness, lack of coordination. Anybody got this problem? Insomnia, stress, irritability, allergies, asthma. We can tell exactly when an epileptic seizure will come online. And literally, you're going to have the information by the end of this class, or maybe even about 20 minutes, of how to stop a seizure, and more importantly, how to coach someone so they'll maybe never have one again. I do have a client that what I'm going to share with you, I shared with her, I think in 2000.